Hello. It has been quite some time, and here we are today for a weekly tarot forecast. I have spent the past couple of weeks really just taking care of myself. I went on vacation. I've also just been ultimately thinking about the best way of how I can be of service while also still finding my creativity and what I would like to do for the remainder of the year. A huge thing that I have been noticing in a lot of the readings I've been giving people has been the ideas of unlocked potential. A lot of people not really tapping into the fullest of their extent or tapping into and utilizing the most of their abilities. This is a huge, again, like a general thing that I keep on seeing coming up in a lot of the readings that I have been giving people. On top of just general concern and uncertainty about things going on with financial aspects due to the state of the world right now. I think across the board, again, this untapped potential that people could really be using to tap into could really help push people forward in these challenges that they are seeing in front of themselves. With that being said, I'm going to pull a couple of cards for us to look at. The first card will represent what is exiting us in this next week. All right, what is exiting us in this next week is the devil. Now, the devil is the temptation that we give into. The devil is the aspects of ourselves that we are not pulling forward and unifying with who we are on our day-to-day level. And as well as aspects of manipulation or habits that might be hard for us to get rid of. That all is kind of encompassed by the devil. Specifically, what I am feeling right now is that we are getting an opportunity to bring forward our shadow selves. So working more in tandem with who we truly are, all aspects of ourselves. And I do think this has a little bit to do with being able to say goodbye or putting up a block or something protective against things that we deem to be harder for us to quit. So addictions or bad habits. I do also think that this is what we are specifically looking at. Possibly being able to say goodbye to these bad habits, being able to bring in a more unified aspect of self. The next card that I am going to pull is going to represent something that we are going to be welcoming in. All right, we are going to be welcoming in the King of Cups. Now, after saying goodbye to the devil and maybe some of that manipulation or some of those bad patterns that I was thinking of, that King of Cups is saying it is time to welcome in nurturing of the soul. It is time to bear our wounds, talk about our experiences, and to ultimately share with people how we've overcome in order to help inspire those who might be also in the same situation or a familiar predicament. The King of Cups wants us to tap into our magic. The King of Cups wants us to utilize our tools and things that are close to us, different mediums. But across the board, this is really tapping into like a huge emotional renaissance for us and being able to showcase that and have others look up to us for inspiration, and also being able to spearhead when maybe those patterns might try and arise again. This King of Cups is giving us an opportunity to kind of push through them. So, a highly evolved emotional intelligence. All right, this next card is going to be a block that we are going to have to deal with. Very interesting. All right, we are looking at the Nine of Wands. Now, my initial instinct was to say that we are going to be looking forward to maybe the way things have been set up around ourselves, the way that we've allowed things to set up around us, and now having to navigate through these different obstacles that we have set up for ourselves. That was my initial thought. I'm thinking that this block is going to be a little bit more about feeling trapped or feeling like we do not have what it's going to take in order to persevere and push through our predicaments. Again, I'm really feeling like a lot of this has to do with bad patterns and things that we set up for ourselves. I think that this Nine of Wands is more of a heavy inclination towards that, and just how hard patterns can be to try and break. I do think that since we are the ones who are setting the self up, you know, like our environment is indicative of the things that we have allowed to become part of our nature. I think this gives us an opportunity to dismantle it in a way that will yield like the result that we're looking for, versus being toppled over or controlled by what it is that we have set up for ourselves. The next card I'm going to pull is a tool, or something we can utilize for when things get tough. And we are looking at the Sun. Now, the Sun is saying it wants us to utilize that amazing feeling of when we come out of darkness, that amazing feeling when we know that we are radiant, that amazing feeling when we know that we can be inspirational to others, that amazing feeling that we know when we can be inspirational to ourselves, championing things for ourselves. The Sun is all about prosperity and abundance and coming out of a very dark time. Again, so much of this is really, I'm feeling so much about cycles and things that we are trying to break. So the Sun is a beautiful opportunity for us to come out and stand in prosperity. I do also feel like something that should be noted here is that we need to make sure that we are being the light for ourselves before we are focusing on helping out or being the light for anyone else. And the final card that I will pull will just be a final note for the week, which is the Ace of Wands, saying that we have all of the power in ourselves to change our course, our direction, to start when we need to, knowing that we will start with all of the resources and energy behind us to make sure that we are able to accomplish the things that are set out in front of us. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to start unveiling all of the projects and things that I have in store.